Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another 80s slasher film. This one I've heard of over the years, but just got done watching for the first time. The Initiation from, I believe, 1984. This is one I've seen pop up a lot on collection videos, and come to think of it, I've actually seen clips of it and just never realized it. There's two clips on Going to Pieces, which I didn't know were from this movie. Overall, I could say I liked it. The first half, didn't really care for. The second half paid off. The ending's a little, overall, I did like it. You know, it stars Kelly Fairchild. What's the character's name? Daphne Zuniga as Kelly Fairchild from One Tree Hill and Melrose Place. Her parents are Clu Gulager from Return of the Living Dead and Elm Street 2. And her mother is Vera Miles, Lila Crane from Psycho. The film opens up this young girl walking into her parents' room having sex. Then this guy walks in. You find out the mother's sleeping with someone else, I keep wanting to say Gallagher. Clu Gulager. And the man that walks in is her father. And some liquid gets poured on him. There's a fight. He lands by the fireplace, gets set on fire. So then years later, also the girl stabs Clu stabs him like in the leg or something. So yeah, the real father's the one that got burnt. The mother and the other guy stayed together. Kelly, it's a nightmare she has, but from the beginning we can tell what this is. We know that's what really happened. We know that's all what's going on. She's part of this sorority. Her and these other girls, they're the new pledges. It's almost Hell Week. And they have to do a prank. And their prank is, because Kelly's dad, the guy Vera Miles had the affair with, he's a Fairchild. He owns a big string of multi-level malls. They have to break into the mall and they have to steal security guard's uniform. And then, the girl that runs the sorority, she's a mega bitch. Vera Miles kind of plays a bitch in this, kind of not more so than Lila in Psycho. This movie's kind of hard to talk about because it's known as one of the most complex slasher films. It is kind of confusing and all over the place. I mean, the first half deals with her nightmare. There's this teacher's assistant who she sort of has a thing with, who studies dreams. So he's like helping her with that. And then in the middle of the movie, it's when they get to the mall, they're going to do the prank. But of course, the girl running the sorority has some of her guy friends go in there to scare them. Also in the beginning, there's a mental institution where patients escape. There's this sort of handyman around the institution who's burnt. We get that's the dad. A nurse gets killed with like a little handheld gardener tool. We're supposed to believe it's the gardener because Clu Gulager gets killed. I mean, it's all obvious. I'm gonna say spoiler alert before the actual twist, because it is kind of a soap opera-y ending. So pretty much the killing field is the mall. Once the girls are there, and then the guys trying to scare them are there. And I will say the kills are pretty good. It's not very gory, but there's plenty of blood to keep you interested. It was kind of disappointing that that girl Megan, the one that's leading the sorority, she just got an arrow through the chest and out the back. I was hoping she was going to get a really big death. Actually, arrows are a couple of them. Some knife stabs. This one guy gets killed in the bathroom. We don't see it, but we see someone find him. He looks like the guy that plays Lil Jon in My Bloody Valentine. Could be wrong on that. And also, and I'm not going to go into the whole psychology part of it about the dreams, and basically the reason why she doesn't remember the real events and it's a recurring dream is because I guess she fell out of a treehouse and has amnesia. Doesn't remember anything before 9 years old. So we're led to believe she stabbed this guy sleeping with her mother. Her father caught on fire in front of her. Then she fell out of a treehouse, lost her memory, and her mom and this other guy got married. Father got sent away to a mental hospital, and they've been keeping it a big secret ever since. And now the gardener, the father, has escaped, sort of seeking vengeance. And also while I'm watching, I'm just like, they're trying really hard to make this complex and deep. And I'm like, why would he know they're at this department store? How would he know his way around? They fixed that. You find out that the father was a floor manager at the store. That's sort of how his wife got to know the Fairchilds. I mean, yeah, it is kind of all over the place. It can get very confusing, but I did like it. And I'm sure this review is kind of all over the place, but it really is hard to talk about. I've never really seen a slasher film this in-depth, like this complex and Freudian. In fact, there's this one girl named Marcia who's sort of the smart virgin. Sort of when the guy's supposed to scare them, then the girls that were there sort of find each other and they just start hanging out. They all get drunk, and there's a part where the Marcia girl says why she's a virgin, because it's like this big rumor around the college. She says how she was molested by her violin teacher when she was 12. And they go from laughing and having a good time to her telling the story. And I understand that it's important to the character, but it just feels way out of place. But then her and this other guy, this guy who's always cracking jokes, they have sex. But then right after they have sex and she starts feeling good about herself, he gets killed right in front of her. So it's like, even if she lived, she would never have sex again. But the scene when she's getting dragged in the elevator by her pant leg, that's the clip I saw on Going to Pieces. And then the other one, which I'll get to. Spoilers starting now. Overall, I did like the initiation. It was a little confusing. Every time I started thinking, why is it like this? They sort of explained things and fixed it. Also, before I get into spoilers, that part when that Marcia girl and the other guy are having sex, they really want to get all Freudian and psychological about it. Because this other girl's getting killed, stabbed repeatedly, and it's intercut with each other. So it's like her moaning having sex, and this other girl getting stabbed, as if to imply penetration. So spoilers, starting now. I would recommend this. Even though it says Midnight Madness series, which the two other films I have like this, I've ranted on. Mountaintop Motel Massacre and Humongous. This one's definitely better than both of them. Spoilers, to the best of my understanding. The patient that escaped was actually her twin sister. Her twin sister is the one that stabbed the guy in the bed. She got sent away to the mental hospital. I guess the father either isn't in the mental hospital or he's just a gardener, just sort of keeping an eye on her. And she's been killing the whole time. She's definitely been killing in the mall, and he's just sort of keeping an eye on her. Her whole goal is to kill Kelly and take her place, because she's been rotting away in this insane asylum while she's been living a high, wealthy life. And Daphne Zuniga, I may be wrong on this, but she kind of looks like Jennifer Lawrence if she was around in the 80s. And it's just like, the ending was just one twist after another. It was, because then out of nowhere, Vera Miles, just as when the twin's about to kill Kelly, Vera Miles shows up and shoots her. Then it just ends. I guess the dad, even though Kelly hit him in the head because he's chasing her up to the roof, she hits him in the head with a pipe, and he falls like a bunch of stories and lives. The scene where the teacher who's been trying to find her finds the twin but thinks it's Kelly, and she stabs him. That was the other clip from Going to Pieces. Yet he lives too. I mean, this movie's kind of all over the place, which so is this review. This review's not very good, I apologize. But I've never really seen a slasher this complex and all over the place. But overall, I would say I liked it. I would recommend it. I just gotta say, just, wait it out. Just sit through the first half. The deaths are kind of few and far between, but watching them are kind of worth it. But yeah, so The Initiation, not a bad slash film. I see why it was forgotten. I see why initial reviews deemed it, complex, confusing, too much. Like Friday the 13th with more complex than it deserves, basically. But I would say that I liked it. So for Room 237, thank you for watching.